turn to hold the mic. I've been waiting for it since 6 p.m. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate those who are on stage today. Let's give them one big round of applause. Stages like this is not common. You see it in Oscar, you see it in Grammy Awards, you see it in direct selling industry, but it doesn't happen very often. An Oscar will only occur once a year. A Grammy will only happen once a year. If you are ever involved in any direct selling company before, you'll realize that this kind of recognition event also happens once a year. And a lot of time, you need to pay for the entrance fee. You need to pay for this and that, because I was in direct selling for 26 years. I know. Every small, big event, whether there's food or there's no food, just by entering the main door, you need to pay an entrance fee. Because to a lot of companies, spending money to rent a venue, it eats into its profit. Building a stage, it eats into its profit. For the past 17 years, Riway has built a lot of recognition stage. Am I right? Yes. And I believe a lot of you were involved in that kind of event or were even on stage. A lot of time when we did rehearsal, when we were building the stage, the contractor, people we engaged to do up the stage for us, they were very surprised that this stage would only be used for 4 hours. And after that, everything will go back to zero. This is not something, if you are a businessman, that you will take up the money and do it every 3 months, 4 times a year, in one region, and maybe times the 13 region that we have. So why I'm sharing this with you is not for you to say, hey, Riway, so good, spend money on the stage. No. I want you to think back. First of all, why is there a stage? And what has this stage done? 3 months ago, I was here. So just on Faith share about 3 months ago, I was here. Really, I agree with what Faith said just now. Because during one of the live band singing, I was talking to your GM, James. I was telling him, hey James, the vibe today is different. Compared to 3 months ago, I remember 3 months ago when I was here, Jackie told me, wow, next recognition night, I need to ask them to bring drum, whistle, everything. So quiet. Or just sitting there watching. But today when I came in, you realize that we added close to 500 extra seats since we opened the door. We have used up whatever extra seat that we have prepared, which I assume we wouldn't need to use. And it surprised me, before the event started, that we have added on so many chairs. And from the response, from the cheers, I feel something is different. But just now when we were talking about it casually, we did not really look into it. Because to us, to have big change, it always has to start small. One time is not enough to see a lot of things. You need to consistently do it for 2, 3, 4 times until it becomes a habit. Until it becomes truly you. And then it will be real. So just now when Faye was sharing it, it kind of confirmed what I was thinking. Okay, it seems like Filipino leaders do not need to listen to sweet talks. What Filipino leaders love to listen to is the truth. And I think to do Riway well, you need the truth. Because only when we know the truth, then we know what did we do wrong. Then we know what should we do right. Because we are not here to play. We are not here to waste our time. We are here trying to use the shortest period of time to create the best result that we couldn't do it elsewhere. And Riway told us we can do it in Riway. Riway has samples, have examples, have testimonials of people who have done it. So we are here to fight a war. Not the war that you see now among the countries, but a war with our past. Can I use this platform, using the shortest period of time, to create things that I have never created in my life? So back to this stage. 3 months ago, during the last recognition night in Kuala Lumpur, because the Philippine one was in the early part, the last one was held in Kuala Lumpur. So that day, the last presenter or the last speaker is Lim Soon Lee. If you know him, he's from Diamond Team. He was recognized as a Supreme 3, if I'm not wrong. So, when he was on stage, he was very excited because it's been ages since he has a mic. Because in Riway International stage, there is no way a Team Supreme Pegasus 3 can have a mic to speak. So he was like waiting for this opportunity, and he spoke for very, very long. We couldn't kick him down, so we just sit there and listen. But whatever he said, it brings me back to 15, 16 years ago when he first joined. Maybe a lot of you were not there, but I would like to share with you what he said. That really, 3 months until now, every day I still think of what he said. He said, when he joined Riway, we only have one office in Malaysia, in Bukit Merajang. And that office is very, very small. I remember very vividly when Lim Soon Lee and his sister, Carrie Lee, closed the first diamond package. I was in the office. That time, Lim Soon Lee had very curly hair because he was a hairstylist. Do you know that 15, 16 years ago, to close one diamond package is like you achieving Team Supreme today, you know? Because it is so difficult to even sell one bottle. Because 17, 18 years ago, the price is the same as now. We have no product testimonial. Nobody knows whether the money they come out with is a product good. Nobody has eaten the product before. We have no success story because no one has joined us and succeeded yet. So it's 10 times, 100 times more difficult than now when you have so many product testimonials, so many successful stories for you to choose which to use. So 17 years ago, to sell one bottle is very, very difficult. Even with the ability of Mr. Lim. I think it took us at least 4 months when Riway started to close one bottle of perfume. So I remember I was in Bukit Merajang office, and Lim Soon Lee and Kelly, they were carrying a red plastic bag with perfume inside. Because that time, we have no packaging. So we just take coffee shop, that kind of red plastic bag, and put perfume inside. And I remember their face. They were like, you know, two siblings very excited that they feel that this company is the right company, but we have nothing to show. Maybe it's just a gut, I'm not sure. So they were telling us, hey, we closed a diamond, we closed a package of perfume. We were like, oh, congratulating them. After that, Bukit Merajang started to have small groups of new customers who started to be distributed. And then Datuk Kenny came in. Riway started for 1 year before Datuk Kenny came into Riway. And in case you don't know, the position of business development, it was VP in the past, this title, he's now a senior director. This VP in business development was kept empty for a year. From day one, since Riway started, we already know the one and only person who can fill up this role is Datuk Kenny. But we did not look for Datuk Kenny. Because that time he was in another company. We want him to come to Riway on his own account. Because before Riway, we already knew him. So the kind of collaboration between me and Mr. Lim and Datuk Kenny is a kind of collaboration that you cannot use money to state the value. It's priceless. So when we started Riway, we did not call him. But in the market, he heard about Riway. So when Riway started for a year, that's when he left the earlier company. And in case you don't know, the earlier company has not paid Dato Kenny for 1 year. So Dato Kenny is very steady, For 1 year, he was leading Jackie, MK, a lot of GM that you hear today in Riway. He was telling them about dreams and vision, and for a year, he didn't get paid for the job that he did. So when he left the company, I feel he has done enough for the company. So the day that he left, the day that he decided to leave, he called Mr. Lim straight away. He drove to Bukit Berdajah to look for Mr. Lim. And when Mr. Lim first saw him, Mr. Lim said, this position has been vacant for a year just waiting for you. This is something like what Faith just now mentioned. If you are a true leader, if you are someone who people believe in you, that's your value. No matter where you are, no matter what situation, people will wait for you. No matter where you are, no matter what situation, people will follow you. So it's not a matter of what product are you selling, what company are you in. It's about what kind of people are you. So when Dato Kenny came in, that's where very interesting things start to happen. Dato Kenny is someone who has a very big vision. So when Kelly, Lim Soon Lee, and the very early Malaysian leaders, when Dato Kenny wanted them to attend a recognition night, he would sell them big stories. But none of it is real. So Soon Lee was sharing, he said, he remembered Kuala Lumpur, one of the HQ in Kota Damansara. Dato Kenny wanted them to fight for ribbon cutting, be the leaders who do the opening ceremony. So he was selling to Lim Soon Lee all the ideas of, wow, when you cut the ribbon, birds will fly. Then the whole sky will be full of balloons. So Lim Soon Lee, they are very motivated, so they fight. They achieved it. So they went to Kota Damansara, they cut the ribbon, no birds. And then 5 balloons. Look at Dato. Hey, where are the balloons that you promised? Dato said, it doesn't matter. Most importantly is you have achieved it, right? So that time they were so innocent, they agreed with Dato. Then, whenever there is a recognition event in a hotel with a simple stage, Dato Kenny will sell them a vision. He will tell them, hey, I just talked to Claudia. Wow, she was telling me. Do you know the recognition night that is going to happen 2 months later? When you go on stage, dragon will fly out. Phoenix will fly out. Pyro will come out, blah, blah, blah. So, instantly, he believed Dato. Too innocent. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times got cheated by Dato, still believe. So they believe, they fight. Wow, finally fight until last minute, 12 midnight. Finally achieve on stage. Go on stage, walk, no phoenix. No dragon. So when he was sharing it that day, I was very touched. Because whatever he was sharing, I was in that process. From how Dato sell to them the vision, to I witnessed how Lim Soon Lee, from the first day I saw him in the Bukit Berdajah office until what I see him now, I saw the whole process. So I'm super touched when he shared about that. And then he says something. He said, do you know, the stage that you see in Riway now, that is really happening with a real stage, and sometimes even bigger than what you see in concert. Do you know that this stage was something that was never a luxury to us? This stage was exactly the vision that Dato Kenny used to cheat us, to make us fight. So last time we had the desire, the hunger to fight, just to come to this type of stage to be recognized. Which is why he valued Riway a lot. Because he witnessed from selling him ideas that he never know whether it will really come true, till now, he's seen Riway build so many stages for different regions of Riway distributors just to go on stage for that 3 to 4 hours to be recognized and then dismantle the stage. So which is why, back to the one word, if we don't treasure it, if we don't cherish it, this stage which has created so many legacies, this stage which has created so many stories, this stage who has led a lot of leaders just to fight, to be able to be on this stage, to hold a mic and give a 2-sentence speech. Do you know how many stories have this stage created in Riway for the past 17 years? And now in Riway, Philippines, every 3 months, or whenever there's a regional event, James and Jackie has been pushing, has been proposing to Riway that we should have a stage whenever there is a regional event in the Philippines. So you must treasure it. Because I believe many of you here, when you join Riway, you will have already seen Riway big stages. And many of you here is maybe because of the stage that you have seen. That's why you join Riway. You see? Your agenda is different from the interview. That's the difference. He has seen nothing, but he believed. And this belief from saying nothing until seeing it happen, it has stayed with him for 17 years. But if he has seen it big first, and you do not treasure it, it will go the opposite direction. The big will become smaller and smaller and smaller. Now it's July. 3 months later, there's going to be another one. But I can promise you, there will not be one in the Philippines. This I know because I'm in event. Marketing is my department. I guarantee you, there will not be a recognition event in the Philippines. Because on the 5th of October, we are doing an international one in Singapore Expo. Mark my words, usually when Riway do this kind of things, there must be something big. And it's towards the end of the year. If you have been with us for many, many years, you will know Riway is full force during the last quarter. So October, do not come to Manila. You come to this hall, no stage, huh? Please go to Singapore Expo. So, if just now you are so happy going on stage in this Philippine stage, imagine in October, that exact stage is the one that we will also be recognizing our Draco Seat of Honor. Because I guarantee you, Celeste will mandate the 8th time Draco Seat of Honor in October. It hasn't happened yet, but with her character, with her hunger, I guarantee you, she will do it in October. Which means no matter whether you are a star, or a team lead, or a supreme, no matter how fast, like James said, if you ever, for July, August, September, do qualify to go on stage in October, at least, no matter you go up 5 seconds, at least you are standing on the same stage as Riway #1, Draco Seat of Honor. And you must feel excited by this type of news, because in Riway, we must always find reasons for us to fight. Like 17 years ago, just ribbon cutting with a lot of balloons, it became instantly main and very important reason. Yet today, some people, if I give you 10 or 20 even better reasons, they will still find excuses to say it's difficult, it's hard. So to me, it's not about whether it's easier to do 17 years ago or whether it's easier to do now. To me, it's the positioning of the person. If your positioning is wrong, I give you the best product, the best plan, the best platform, the result will not be good. But if your positioning is right, I give you not the best thing, you will also create something out of it. So I hope in October, recognition night with Riway International Stage, if you feel that the Philippine stage is too small, please go to Singapore Expo. If you have never seen how we recognize a Draco Seat of Honor, please go to Singapore Expo. Go on stage, take a selfie, and tell yourself, I'm in Riway International Stage. Of course, if in October you go up and you walk up 5 seconds and you come down, then you have to tell yourself, the next time I go on an international recognition stage of Riway, I must at least shake somebody's hand and take trophy. And if this time, if you go, you shake somebody's hand, maybe some of the CMT, and take trophy, then you must tell yourself, the next one, I must make sure the hand that I shake is Ip Boon Hong. This is the goal that if you want to do Riway well, you must always set for yourself. You cannot be satisfied with what you have now. You must always, after one recognition night, immediately set another one. This is how Riway has been doing for the past 70 years. If this time you go, you manage to shake Mr. Lim's hand, but you couldn't give a speech because the competition in Riway is too high, then you must tell yourself, the next one, in the international stage of Riway, you must come out and speak 2 sentences in a standing mic. Do not underestimate just being able to give 2-word speech can create the envy star of today. Can create all the big leaders that you know of today. So if it has done it for them, it definitely can do it for you. It's just about position. So talking about here, I haven't started my speech. I'm just too excited about what happened today, about Faith's speech and the recognition. Okay? So, first of all, we have to congratulations to Faith for being the cover of our Riway Philippine magazine. Very nicely done. It's very different from the earlier covers that we did for her. Do you know that this is not the first time that Faith did a cover for Riway Philippine? So for a leader to repeatedly be invited by the company to be the cover story personnel, this leader must have done something well. This leader must be someone of importance. And when I read her interview and the way she gave the interview, and when we took the first cover many years ago with her kids, when she mentioned that she's a single mom, she's really during that time a very innocent single mom but full of power, full of vision, giving her best. Now she has actually matured into someone with wisdom, someone who when you look at her, from far you know this woman is not to be, don't play with her. Because her kind of, when she wants something, that kind of hunger wins a lot of men, wins a lot of people. So let's give Faith a round of applause. I have read her interview because my department, we did a magazine. So if you have chance, after tonight, do read her cover story interview. There's a lot of things that I feel as a Filipino leader or someone from Jubilee Diamond Team, you must get something from the interview. She mentioned, before you were given the title of Jubilee Diamond Team, you had your own team name, Team Kayu Mangi. It was given by Faith and her team to represent the brown skin group of people who the Filipinos are very proud of. They wanted this team to create something to make the race of brown people proud. So, what is the difference between a name that is given by ourselves and a name given by Riway? It is not how nice the name sounds like, no. It's the fact that when a Riway company gives your team a name, it's like the Queen of England knighting you and say, sir, is that important? Because when Riway gives you a name to your team, it means Riway sees you. It means Riway is putting some responsibility, putting some hopes into this team. Which means Riway is looking into this team and observing its potential and its growth. Because Riway wouldn't want to give names to each and every other teams, and there is a possibility that people will spoil the reputation of their team name. Am I right? So only the chosen ones, only the group of people who are worth, then Riway will give you a title for your team. So when I read the cover story, I was very stressed. Because if I belong to a Jubilee Diamond team, after reading it, I couldn't sleep. Because it means we have to live up to the name. So from the article, I think instead of admiring Faith, beautiful shots, what she said, I think you should feel stressed that she mentioned that Jubilee Diamond Team was the name given by the company. It's not Faith that has to live up to that name. It's every single member of this team. Just now when Faith was on stage, those who were standing there holding the flag, every single one, you have to live up to that name. You have to live up to the name such that whenever anyone, any leader from Jubilee Diamond Team walks into a hall, goes into any recognition in other regions, people know you are from Jubilee Diamond Team. So please do not be the first one whereby boss give you a name, but nobody knows who you are. Boss give you a name, and you spoil the market for boss 19 million. Please, live up to the expectation of this Jubilee Diamond Team. All the cheering, everything is just superficial. The real thing is the substance inside the team. So I think after this cover story, if you read it, I hope you can get a message. And Faith inside, she mentioned another thing, comfort zone. She talked about the European market. She went to Europe a few times for our event, was invited to be one of the speakers in our Poland leadership training seminar. She see the potential of the European market. So she mentioned she wanted to explore the potential of Riway Europe because she wanted to get out of her comfort zone. First of all, for a leader to admit or to say out that he or she wants to force him or her out of a comfort zone, it takes courage. It takes a lot of guts, and it's a big commitment. So let's first give Faith a round of applause. So, just by reading the article, you may be thinking, oh, this article is asking us to get out of our comfort zone and go internationally. Okay, we leave this aside first. I want to talk about another article in the magazine. Our James Xiong, Philippine GM speech. Very nice speech. You must read, okay, James? I'll help you to market to them. Inside, I love James' speech because it's always short and sweet. Never beat around the bush, on point. 2 or 3 words, you immediately know what he meant. His direction, his vision is super clear. One of the clearest among the Riway management. So in his speech, he mentioned something that seems to contradict what Faith said in her speech. James said, definitely we are going internationally, but we have to own our home first. So he was saying, international will be our ultimate goal. But to go to international, you must first secure and top your home ground first. Because your home ground is the place where you have the most resources. It's the place, it's the culture that you are most comfortable with. So sometimes when we say we want to go where and where, it could be because we refuse to accept things that we couldn't solve in our home ground. We chose to escape challenges that we don't want to face in our home ground. So we wanted to change a new market, we wanted to change a new environment. So which is why I want to go back to this point, comfort zone. Comfort zone, simply put it, it means someone trying to force themselves out of a comfortable situation so that they do not stay stagnant. Am I right? I believe this is the understanding that we have of comfort zone. But to me, there are 2 types of comfort zone. One is the comfort zone that the situation created for you. Another type of comfort zone is a situation that you created yourself. So what's the difference? What is the comfort zone that the situation created for you? For example, you are in the Philippines. There are no problems in the Philippine market that you have no answer to. You are such a big leader, such a respectable leader, that everybody who works with you, who are in your team, your sideline, your upline, your downline, they respect you, even when you are not their upline or downline. In your region, people who are from other groups, they respect you. And when you have challenges or when you have issues in your group, you are always the first one to step up. You are always the solution giver. You always see problems as challenges. You solve the problem. You don't let the problem solve you. And you have reached the peak and pinnacle of whatever you have done. And you have done the best already. With your presence, without your presence, your group continues to grow. With your presence, without your presence, your group gets stronger and stronger. That is the comfort zone that is created out of the situation. You have done everything you can, or even more than what you should do. And then everything just operates autopilot. Because you have done so much before. Any issue that comes up, any situation that comes up, you are always there. You have done the max already. If you don't step out of the comfort zone, you may slowly lose this fighting spirit. This is one kind of comfort zone. Another kind of comfort zone is a self-made comfort zone. That means it's not a comfort zone, but you self-made it. For example, you are in the Philippine market. You are a supreme. You have a group. When there's turnover, when you want something big, of course, it's part and parcel to have problems, am I right? But some people, when they have turnover, they don't want the problem. So when they have turnover, they earn money, am I right? Maybe their life has changed since day one that they joined Riway. Just now I was talking to some of the Filipino supreme leaders. I reminded them one thing, which I hope you can bear in mind. A lot of time comfort zone is because we have already achieved more than what we set out for. So we fall into comfort zone. For example, I know a lot of Filipino leaders in Riway. When you first started Riway, you have no background. You could be a bankrupt, you could be a Grab driver, you could be a taxi driver. Maybe in your whole life, you have never owned a car. In your whole life, you have been renting houses. In your whole life, maybe you slay in slums. So when you join Riway, maybe you just want to earn 2 times more than what you earn monthly. Maybe you just want to earn enough to buy a small house back in the hometown. But with the Riway product, with the Riway system, with the Riway plan, suddenly, when you plan to achieve a certain goal in 5 years, when you join Riway, with all these things combined, suddenly you achieve it within 2 years. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm saying that it's faster. You get what I mean? So when you first join, you have nothing. You set 5 years goal. And then 2 years you achieve already. You will tell yourself, like, wow, I achieved 3 years earlier than my goal. When your aim was only to buy a small house, suddenly in Riway 3 years, of course with your hard work, you buy a house, 3-story house, with a swimming pool. You have a villa holiday in certain island in Philippines. You drive your dream car, a Mercedes S500. Suddenly, from nothing, you have all this within 2-3 years. This is another comfort zone. When you already have it, suddenly, whatever turnover that you have created, it will definitely generate problems. Right? Because when there's people, there's turnover, this is part and parcel. But when all these issues come in, you don't want to face it. You tell yourself, no, I don't want. So you make yourself comfortable already. You start to semi-retire. You start to focus on problems more than your goal. Slowly, you lose your hunger. You lose your fighting spirit. That is another comfort zone that I'm talking about. So when we tell ourselves, hey, I need to do this because I want to get out of comfort zone, always ask yourself, what kind of comfort zone? Maybe the real comfort zone you need to get out of is not changing another group. Ignore this group, go to another city or go to another place or change your downline or what. No. Maybe the real comfort zone is facing the issue that is currently in your group. If you are able to face that, you become someone who has a lot of solutions. Like when we tell our downlines, how do you close the most deal when you manage to not close any sales when you first started? Am I right? If today every sales closed, you have no solution to how to close customers who gives you different kind of objection. But if today your first 10 customers are unclosed, you cannot close a deal for your first 10 customers, you would have 10 solutions so that in case next time when they come up with the same rejection, you have 10 solutions to them. So which means, for a comfort zone, what we want to get out is, we need to find solution to whatever issues we are facing in our group. And when we are becoming someone like that, then we can apply what James said. Own your home ground. Be the best in your home ground, the ground that you are most familiar with. And when you are the pinnacle of your home ground, Riway Philippines, when you are the top, international is any time for you. But if today you don't own your home ground, when you have issue, you change city. When you have issue, you change downline. Change here, change there. Willing to acknowledge the comfort zone that you have put yourself into. Even if I put you in a new market, international market, which you think that, there are Filipinos there, I can go there. The same issue will come back and it will be more difficult. Because these regions I'm talking about, they have no Riway. They have no offices, they have no GM. It's going to be much more difficult than the Philippines. So please don't misquote what Faith said. You don't, as a diamond side, you read, Faith said, get out of my comfort zone, go to Europe, please don't. You have to own your home ground, which is the Philippines. Some of you may say, hey, but Raymond Tong comes from Malaysia. He also comes to the Philippines and did very well. If you ask me, what you should get from Raymond Tong is not this. What you should ask yourself about Raymond Tong is, how come a Malaysian who doesn't speak your language, who don't live in this country, can come to your country and do better than you? I think that's the message you should get from Raymond Tong. So let's give Raymond Tong a round of applause. So, talking about the magazine cover, since the Filipino leaders love to hear the truth, do you want some truth from me? Yeah. I think really enough, because for the sake of the October stage, you need to know something. When we were discussing the cover story of Riway Philippines, when Jackie and I were discussing, and Jackie was discussing with James, it is no doubt that the cover story personnel is definitely Faith. So to Faith, to her team, to the Riway Philippines, is a very proud thing. But if I look deeper, it's a worrying side. Because Riway Philippines has been in Riway for 8-9 years. By right, there should be a whole line of leaders for us to choose. You get what I mean? Because this is what is happening in other regions. Do you know that in other regions, we always had so much difficulty to choose a cover? Because from Supreme 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, every Supreme, a lot of leaders. If you like that, one by one, 5 years, you also cannot finish. Because too many inside. So many other factors we have to consider. But I realize that when it comes to Philippines, it's the opposite. Very clear cut. You know it's either this or this, no other choices. To me, if I am seriously doing Riway, it's a worrying side. That means Riway Philippines is not going as fast a pace as you should be going. Am I right? Because if you were not in your comfort zone, I don't think today you will be facing the cover story. There should be more contenders. There should be more competitors fighting to be in the cover story. Yet, we are back to Faith again. Of course, Faith has done what she has to do to make sure that she is still within the radar of Riway. She is a very important leader of the Philippines. But the Philippine market needs more Faith. Recently, in one of a TV show, I watched a documentary that talked about Thailand. Okay? It mentioned that Thailand has been a developing country for many, many years. In Southeast Asia, it is one of the longest developing country in the number of years, which has yet to go into development. You know, because in countries, there are different phases, like Singapore, like China, for example. We started from developing country, and then we developed into a developed country. So do you know how important a developed country is to the people? Because a developed country brings in more business opportunity. It boosts up the economy of the country. Look at what Singapore has done for the past 60 years. This year, Singapore is celebrating 60 years anniversary. You see, the difference of Singapore from developing to developed. The developing years is very short, but the developed years is very long. Which is why Singapore is a rich country. And I'm very proud to say I'm from Singapore. It's a rich country. We have no natural resources, but because our objective is very clear, we need to be a developed country in the shortest period of time. Which is why Singapore has what we have now. So this documentary, when it mentioned about Thailand, they say the youngsters, the Thai youngsters, compared to the older generation, they tend to have lesser kids. They tend to think that they will never have any opportunity to buy a house of their own. Either they have to stay with their parents or they have to rent. Because the living standard is getting higher, but their income is not getting higher. And because it is deemed a cheap country to a lot of Europeans, to a lot of Americans, to even Taiwanese, that it is a cheap country for them to retire. Do you know that recent years, a lot of Taiwanese bought property in Thailand? A place for them to retire because they say, wow, going there, nice food, cheap rental, everything to outsiders is cheap. So people are all flying to Thailand to migrate to Thailand to retire. But it is taking a toll on the Thai people. Because with all these people coming in, it's going to drive up the prices of my property. It's going to make the later, younger generation more difficult to buy houses. It's going to make the usual cheap food that we eat on the street more expensive. And yet our salary, because our country is not developed yet, it's still developing. So it doesn't tally. Eventually, they will become poorer and poorer. While other people get richer, they will become poorer and poorer. Why? Because they are developing for too long. So back to the Philippines. The Philippine group, when I studied the Supreme, I feel it is like developing. And I feel it has been developing for a little bit too long. Because over the years, the highest now is still Faith. She has no competition, you know. Please don't scold me, please don't kill me. But what I want to say is, can someone actually challenge Faith or not? Because how to create result? In the system training, one of the topics, there are 12 system training from the training department. One of the topics is how to create result. It is in my mind very vividly because it's my topic during the Hungary training seminar in May. I studied what boss said. Very simple but powerful. He said, to create result, first of all, there must be competition. If there is no competition, nothing will be created out. No turnovers, no result, and slowly it will die off. In Philippines, there must be competition. There must be someone who will chase very closely to Faith, because you're actually doing her a favor. Because if she is always number one in Philippines, with the rest so far behind from her, she will think that by chance, whatever she has done, it will stay like that, you know? Are you doing her a favor? No, later I tell you another situation that happened in Europe. You're not doing her a favor, and at the same time, you are not doing yourself a favor. Because you start to convince yourself, it's okay, number one, let it be Faith. We respect her. Faith is our leader. We respect her, we want her to be number one. You don't think that you're helping her or you're giving her everything. No. You are causing her to possible go into her comfort zone because nobody is chasing behind her. And you are stopping yourself from overtaking. You are stopping all the competition between you and Faith and between you and everyone. So, how to create result? Competition. If there are no competition, there will be no result. And where does this no result happen? It happens in your home ground, the Philippine market. So to me, the Philippine market is not up for James or Jackie or Faith to decide how the Philippine market should be, It's the competition that the group of VIPs I see here. What have you been doing? You need to close up the gap of the supreme in Philippines. Otherwise, like what Faith said, groups like Europe, they will start to overtake you. In COVID period, there is one training seminar that we use 15 minutes to present the 6P. One of the topic is potential of the market. I remember Andy Saw was a speaker. Before he ended his speech, he said something very clearly. He said, the potential of the market is not determined by the number one in the market. Whatever the number one in the market has created is because of he or her ability. So this is the highest turnover of that region. But if anyone who has higher responsibility, higher hunger, higher ability than the current number one in the market, the potential of this market will go up. Which means you cannot allow the potential of your market be determined by one person, which currently is Faith. You cannot, based on what Faith has done for the many years, and decide this is the pinnacle, this is the max of Philippine market. No, it's because she has no competitor. So are you going to the competitor, or are you going to what Faith said, accept it? Because over the years, maybe you are always forced into a situation where you have to accept things. Because a lot of times you want to change things, but it cannot be changed. I was telling James just now, it could be also because of the Philippine culture. Nothing wrong with this culture, but the country that you are born in, like I say, compared to the Thailand market, maybe Philippines has also been developing for many years. No offense to the Filipinos, I respect you, but I just want to highlight something. Maybe from young, from your grandparents' generation, from your parents' generation till now, maybe you have been educated that a lot of things cannot be changed. Maybe you have been educated, your future doesn't lie in your hand. It lies in whoever is the government now. It lies in who is the new president now. And your life just changes not within your control because it's controlled by the government or controlled by whoever is in charge, and you never have a say in what is to be done. So for many generations, for maybe many years ago until now, we have been trained since young that you have no voice. You don't control it. So which is why you are forced and trained to accept. When things you try cannot, you accept. Because you know no matter how hard you push, no result. So it's not your fault. It's the society fault. So when you're in the environment for 60 years, 50 years, or you see your parents be in the environment, naturally, you become someone who accepts very easily. So, I personally, this is my personal point of view, maybe what is happening in the Philippine market is because of this culture. You accept that you need not be number one. You accept that, hey, I have achieved more than what I wanted in Riway. I'm comfortable with my current position. Please don't accept it. Because when you accept that, you go into a comfort zone, and what will happen? Wherever you grew up will slowly leave you. Like what Faith said, people only follow people they respect, they trust, they have security in. Just now I was telling some leaders, do you think for the past 17 years, do you think nobody has ever approached Dr. Kenny to join their company? He is a talent, Definitely, a lot of people will be aiming Dr. Kenny to join their business development in their company, am I right? Do you think over the years, nobody has approached Celeste to join their company? You think over the years, nobody has attempted to give David Yo 5 Rolls Royce to join the company? Definitely yes. Why? Because they have already done something. So people naturally have this thinking, hey, the top of Riway, I just use money to buy them into my company. Can already? I save half the time. I believe Faith also a lot of people got offer her. So which means, why? For the past 17 years, every day, we have been getting this kind of offer, perks, but never once we ever thought of giving a second thought about that. Because the one we follow is boss. Not because he is handsome. It's because whatever he do, it makes him worthy of someone that we can follow. Which is why I say, it's not about the company, the plan, the product, it's about who you follow. So, in the Philippines, once you go into your comfort zone, because you have already achieved way more than what you asked for in Riway, slowly, your hunger goes away. People lose respect in you. When there are problems you don't solve, you start to go into a semi-retirement mode. You know what will happen? People that has trusted you in the past, people who have believed you and stayed with you till now, even they want to stay with you, but you make them leave you. You make them lose trust in you. You make them lose confidence in you. And slowly, whatever you have worked so hard to build up, you will become zero. Nothing comes easy. Even if you buy a car, you need to maintain it. No groups come easily. If you have a group, you have to maintain it. You have to always maintain it with your hunger, with your desire, which is the second point of how to create result. You must be able to pass down motivation to your team. You must be a self-motivated leader, not in terms of on stage, you can be a good motivator, no. Your action. You may not be a good presenter on stage, but your action is more than the words you say on stage. That is a great motivator. So to continue your group to grow, you need to be competitive. When we talk about Europe, Faye was saying yes. Many years ago, or 5 years ago, if you look at the Euro market, you scratch your head. They come in blue jacket, yellow jacket. Everybody have their own kind of thing. We never imagine one day we can group the European leaders dressed like that. I think just based on this alone, I think we have really done a lot. So talking about the European market, they started something like that. Their culture is very different from the Asian culture. Do you know that in the early stage of the European leaders group, we realized that a lot of them have the potential to come out, but they are all in the same position for very long. So we found out, we want to find the real reason, and we realized that they have this culture of waiting for the upline to come up first. So let's say if the upline is monoceros, even if the finish can be Pegasus, they don't want to be Pegasus. They respect the upline. They wait for the upline monoceros to come up to Pegasus, then they come up to monoceros. They don't want to overtake the upline. So to them, they think that this is a respect. No. So they practice that for many years. There is a group that always a lot of feelings and power, but you look at their sales turnover, totally can be Pegasus, but they don't want to because their upline is not Pegasus. So they wasted some time waiting. Until during COVID and after COVID, when we really with Dixie, with Kenner, full force in, open up their mindset. We tell them there must be competition. If your upline doesn't see competition from you, you are not helping him or her. In fact, you are doing them more harm. You should make them feel nervous, anxious that someone is going to overtake them. Which is why, in the gala on the 19th July, we are going to see 13 Pegasus and Supreme leaders in the European gala. And out of the 13, 3 are Pegasus 2. 4 are Pegasus 1. And the rest are Pegasus. When I see that number, and I see the numbers recognized today, my heart pains. Because the exact number that we are going to recognize on the 19th July in Czech Republic is the exact number that went on stage today. How can Philippines be on par with the European leaders? They came in so much later than you. They are not Asian. They have so much things to do more than you. Yet you allow them to be in the same situation as you. Which is why, since I'm here, I would like to take this opportunity to remind you. People are catching up. Don't be too comfortable for too long. Because you will lose whatever you have fight so hard. Remember the first day when you joined Riway. The kind of vision you give yourself. The kind of hunger you give yourself. Don't ever forget the first day. But whatever you have achieved since that first day, you must forget what you achieved. But you mustn't forget the hunger of the first day. Because if you keep on remembering whatever you have achieved, you will think that you are very good. You will immediately go to your hunger. To end my speech today, I would like to share a very simple story. Many, many years ago, on top of a hill, there is a temple. And in this temple, there is a very old wise man, a man full of wisdom, staying inside this temple. For the villagers below this mountain, they all know about this wise man. He's able to guess a lot of things. He has a lot of knowledge. Any questions that you ask him, he's able to give you the right answer. But one day, a young boy, he don't believe that. He feels that this man of wisdom has locked him up, not true one. So he said, okay, never mind. Let me go up to the mountain and test this old man of wisdom. So he went and find this old man and said, I heard that you are full of wisdom. So the old man of wisdom just nodded his head and smiled. He said, okay, let me ask you a question. In my hand, I'm holding a bird. Can you tell me whether the bird that I'm holding in my hand is alive or dead? So the old man laughed and said, you want to know the answer? The young man said, yes, because I don't believe you can give me a right answer. So he's kind of challenging the wise man. So the old man said, young man, let me tell you what is the answer. If I say the bird is dead, you will release your hand and let the bird fly to prove me wrong. If I say the bird is alive, you will squeeze the bird and kill it and prove me wrong. Which means no matter whatever answer I give you, the fate of the bird is in your hand, not in mine. So, your fate in Riway is in your hand, not in Jim's hand, not in Jackie's hand, not in Lisa's hand. Maybe in your country, pardon me if I do offend you. You have never in your life have any opportunity to make a decision for yourself. To navigate the direction or the result that you want. Like what Faith said, she has planned since she was young what she wanted to do to be an ambassador. But things happen. Things happen in the country, things happen in the family. A lot of time, we couldn't control things that is thrown to us by God. And I believe from your generation to your parents' generation, this has repeatedly happened again and again. But in Riway, it's like the young boy holding the bird. The fate is in your hand. It's just that when you navigate, this is the result I want. Are you willing to take the step? Are you willing to cross any obstacles and barriers that comes along your way? Because when you want big things, of course, challenges will come. So it's not about whether in Riway you can succeed or not. It's about you want to succeed. Because it can. Because everything is controlled by you. You want to be positive, it's also controlled by you. What position you want to commit, what position you want to achieve is also controlled by you. It's not controlled by the customer, it's not controlled by your downline, it's controlled by you. Which means everything is controlled by you. As long as you control it well, you will get it. It's just that along the way, a lot of people don't control it well. They start to accept, they start to give themselves excuses and reasons, and they start to fall into comfort zone. I do hope, with the progress of European leaders and other new and upcoming regions coming up, I hope the Filipino leaders can still show these regions that you are a powerful group of people. I hope that you are the ones who set examples, legacy, testimonials for them to learn from. Don't 3 years, 5 years down the road, you have to learn from them. There will be a very painful mistake. And remember, whatever you are facing in the market, whatever challenges or big problems that you think you have, you are not the only one who have it. Anyone doing Riway, anyone in the market, anyone doing any kind of business now, they are all facing issues, they are all facing challenges. So it's an auto suggestion what you tell yourself. Thank you for having me today, and thank you for your time. Last but not least, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome the first row of Team Elite Pegasus and Team Super Leaders who were on stage today to come here.